Hello, and welcome to Shamrock Talk, the internet's #1 mother-son Celtics podcast. I'm your host, Jake Olin, here once again with my mother, Karen Olin, back in
Hello.
studio.
Here we go.
New temporary camera setup, another camera issue last week. We're going to get there eventually. We're going to figure this out. Hopefully we have a new camera incoming, and we'll get there eventually. But lots of news to talk about. Trade deadline season did not disappoint, but we'll go through the Celtics first, and then we'll get to that stuff. So since our last show, the Celtics are 3-1, 36-16 overall, first in the Atlantic Division, second in the Eastern Conference, and back to third in the NBA. Yeah, it's been quite the NBA week overall. So let's go through our games, starting with the Pelicans. I believe that was last Saturday. The Tatum buzzer beater. He finally hit one. Finally, his crunch time woes. This is gonna set off a chain of events, and he's gonna be a crunch time scorer from this point forward. But I guess I can dream.
Building confidence in our star, I guess.
Yeah.
Building confidence.
Yeah. Well, we'll start there. Have any other New Orleans thoughts for?
I really thought he played well overall.
Agreed.
I think it was a good game for him. This wasn't a very good team.
No, and it was close the whole way, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
no Zion. No.
Yes.
I mean, it shouldn't have been close. So Trey Murphy, that's the only.
Yeah.
We kept him in it. He was shooting lights out.
8 for 12 from 3. It's tough when a guy
points,
is.
Yeah. But all in all, I feel as though we were still slightly underwhelming. I don't know.
I mean, agreed. Look at their starting lineup has Yves Missi and Javonte Green. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I don't even know half these guys.
Yeah, Javonte Green started. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Jeremiah Robinson Earl played 13 minutes. Carlo Matkovich played 18. I don't know who any of these guys are.
Yeah. So I just think, unfortunately, we were still underwhelming, even though we won. It shouldn't have been a close game. But they were shooting pretty well, like a couple of them were. So, I give them that. But I still think we struggled a little bit with defense. Our shooting wasn't terrible. I think it was more of a problem stopping
39% from 3.
Stopping them
50% from the field.
Right?
Agreed. When someone like Trey Murphy's going off like that, it's a little fluky and hard to.
Still very slow to adjust to those things.
Agreed.
It seems like our defense is still that step behind, and we'll come to another game where I felt that. But once somebody hits 2, right, especially against this type of team, aren't you playing them? Tight, or maybe we can. I don't know. Who else are you guarding, really? I mean, there's nobody else. CJ McCollum had a pretty decent game. I mean, but he wasn't outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, agreed. I mean, for me, it's just thank God Tatum hit that shot. He needed that one, just confidence-wise.
Yes.
There's already too much talk about his crunch time woes and whatnot. And
I think Derek White had a good game. He needed a game.
Yes. He's slowly coming back to himself.
I think he was somewhat back to normal and only shot 9 times in 33 minutes. I mean, that's, pretty good. And he had more points than he did in games where he shot 17 to 20 times, in the previous few games. So I think that is a good space for him to be in. Not much to say.
Not much else. New Orleans stinks. They're terrible. Yes. I think Murray's out for the year now, I believe, too.
Oh, is he?
I think he tore his Achilles or something.
Yeah. Well, in the standings, I mean, they have so much work to do. So,
I mean, they're donezo for sure. At this point, they're in tank mode, I think.
They'd have to be, they'd have to be unbelievable for the rest of the year to even get a
No, I think it's done,
spot.
It's definitely done, actually. I don't even have to say kind of.
Yeah.
It's definitely done for them, but that's...
Well, and in that case, without Zion Williams, this should have been... I mean, we had...
Agreed. I mean, from the Celtics perspective, yes, it should have been a easy
maybe
cleanup.
Maybe don't blow them out, but it shouldn't have come to a last-minute buzzer beater.
Agreed.
So it just shouldn't have. So
agreed. Yeah, well, we can get to the next game, which is another game that shouldn't have been as it was. The Celtics beat the Philadelphia 76ers 118-110, but we're down as many as 26.
Wait, let's talk about who the starters were.
And again, yes, it's name.
So they were missing
name
KJ
roulette.
Martin, Joel Embiid, Caleb
George.
Martin, and Paul George.
Yeah. Drummond didn't play. Eric Gordon didn't play. Yeah. They started Justin Edwards. I don't even know who that is. He's played 44 minutes. Rookie Council, the fourth. Adem Bona got 12 minutes. They only played 4 guys off the bench, which is insane.
Yeah.
And 2 of them are Kyle Lowry and Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
It was really, I would say, especially the beginning of the Maxey show.
Yeah.
To get them that far ahead. And yeah, I mean, good comeback, way to chip away at it and, kind of keep your composure and not just give up on the game.
Played well.
He was great.
I thought he was very good.
Anytime I see him, he's good. There's rumors that he was going to be on the trade block and Celtics were a possible destination.
I would keep him. If
I agree. I don't know why they would trade him.
If your only other person is going to be Embiid.
Exactly.
Then, you got to.
This is the one guy that actually plays all the time. Why would we trade him?
He looked good. He was moving well. I thought he looked very good. I thought they played well. I mean, their shooting percentage 46 at 3. So
yeah, no Pritchard this game. I think we had everyone else. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot. Again, I think we scored 118 points. So I don't necessarily think it's our offense. I think it's our defense at this point, right? I mean, we could not stop them.
Sure.
We could not stop them.
Again, some of that is like players hitting ridiculous shots. I thought both some of the Trey Murphy stuff and the first half of this game was, shots that aren't usually going to go in. Yeah, that's what I mean. And
still, I don't know.
I don't know. It can be tough when guys keep hitting shots like that, but they eventually found their equilibrium and the Celtics came storming back.
But they out-rebounded us.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a tale. Look at the quarters. They scored 29 in the first, 32 in the second, 33 in the third, and then 16 in the fourth. That really just killed them.
Yeah.
And we kind of had the opposite effect, 21 in the first and then up to 38 in the fourth quarter. So, good comeback win. I don't know. I'm obviously, again, another skeleton crew team that we got to play this week, but...
and we had everyone except for Pritchard.
Yeah.
So it's, I just wish it wouldn't come to that in the end again, that we weren't having to. It seems like for some reason we have too many games where even when we're winning, we're having to come back, It
felt like last year. I mean, it's hard to say too, because what we're used to is so, like last year was so irregular with how many blowouts we had. We just demolished teams last year.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I think some of these games are more just kind of what you'd come to expect out of a team that wins a lot of games and pulls out some games maybe they shouldn't, or that don't look good at first and you're down 26, but they get the win.
And Tatum was great in the fourth.
Tatum was.
He was
yes. That's what I mean. It's clutch time. Tatum is finally coming through, maybe. Come on.
Good. Very good in the fourth.
Any other Sixers talk? I mean, are they going to be... They're close to that 10 spot, but...
They are climbing a little bit, but I don't know if they're going to make a push as it gets closer. I don't know how long Paul George... It's just kind of... I mean, I don't know.
Can they get it together in time?
Yeah, and even if they get it together, can they get it together to win the best out of 7 how many times?
Well, not even that. I mean, let's look at the standings now. Full standings. If they were... So they're...
I mean, they're not that far.
Yeah, they're a game behind the Bulls for that 10th last play-in spot.
Yeah.
But then you have to win a game. Let's say the standings stay as they are right now.
Yeah.
And then you have to win a game on the road against Atlanta. Which, I mean, Atlanta now, might be in tank mode. So that actually might be
I don't know what's going on with the Magic and Atlanta because they're 2-8 and 1-9. So those two teams could quickly go down.
Well, yes. I now that I'm thinking about this, maybe the 76ers have a better chance than we thought.
Yes.
Because Atlanta lost Jalen Johnson, and it seems they're decidedly tanking now because they know their season's not going anymore. They have a good young core, so they traded DeAndre Hunter, and it just seems like they're gonna, they'd rather take the pick
which is strange because they looked pretty good. I thought there were moments where they looked.
Oh yeah, but they lost Jalen Johnson. That's that was their guy. He was 19 points a game. I mean, any chance they had of competing, he needed to be there. And now that they're like, well, we have all our guys back next year. Why wouldn't we just tank, get a nice pick, bring all our guys back, and take another swing at it next year? I think that's not a terrible move for them.
And then same with the Magic. I think they have Franz back now, right?
Do they? Yeah, I don't know if he's been playing.
Someone had
Let's
said
see their last game.
Had him back.
They lost to the Nuggets in their last outing, and Franz did. Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, so I think they have.
So yeah, I don't know what their struggles are.
But I think he just came back, and obviously the Nuggets are a good team.
Sure, it's not just the. I mean, but it's not just the Nuggets. They're losing a lot of games. Yeah. So they lost 4 in a row to the Warriors, Jazz, Trailblazers,
they didn't
and Heat.
have Franz for some of those.
Lost the Trailblazers twice.
Yeah, I think he just came back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to them. So that's why I'm saying, like, all those teams, I mean, the Sixers can move up.
For sure.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen there.
But the problem is, with the plan is, again, my point was going to be, I mean, again, I might change my mind on this because now looking at it, maybe they will get to like that 8th seed or 7th seed even. But
I think they will.
But if you're the 10th seed, you have to win 2 elimination road games to even get in the playoffs, to be the 8th seed and get into it.
But you figure if you have Embiid playing and you have Paul George, if you can have them both for those 2 road games, I just don't know. I mean, what is Paul George's injury at this point?
Yeah. But it's also
every time I turn them on in a game, he's not playing.
But it's also time on the court together. They never played together. They've like never played together at this point. They played what? I mean, how many? Let's look this up. How many games have Embiid and Paul George played? 13 games together.
Yeah.
So it's not these teams of stars that are injured and can't, and then they do not have a good track record of coming together at the right time and making a run. It's usually flaming out pretty quickly. So it'll be interesting to see if they can how well they can kind of push their playoff positioning if they can, and what the deal with that is going to be, but that will be seen. Let's go to the big game this week. In Cleveland, number 1 versus number 2 in the East. Celtics take down the Cavaliers 112-105. I'll throw it to you. Thoughts from Cleveland?
I just think we were prepared for this game. Like
100%
what is
correct.
Up with our energy level? And I don't know if we know some teams better than others. Maybe it's the matchup. I don't know. But we were prepared for this game. I mean, Mobley didn't look good.
Yeah.
Defensively, we just look like we wanted this
Correct.
game.
Yep.
Which in a minute we'll jump to the next
yes,
game.
I know, yes.
But
the same thoughts you did,
level
correct.
For
Agreed.
this game was just so much higher. Is it because they're number 1 and you put that energy in?
It is. It has to be. Because it's consistent. It's
for the spectator. Yeah. It is painful.
It is frustrating. Yeah.
But anyway, this was a great game.
But it's almost I go back and forth because it's like it is frustrating. It's like, why can't you bring this energy every night? But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they have another level that they can go to when they need to, and that they can kind of show come crunch time, come playoff time, we can kind of kick it into the final gear and really show teams what we're going at. And you could tell just by the lineups in the minutes.
Yeah.
You weren't playing any K-Does or Cornette got 12 minutes, Hauser 13. Those were, really the only guys other than our big front 7 that played.
Yeah.
And come playoff time, that's how it's going to be, and that's going to be the lineup.
The funny thing is, we didn't even shoot well. We really played some good defense.
Yeah.
I thought. I mean, we didn't. Tatum was 27% at 3.
Yeah, 3 for 11.
30% overall for 23. 7 for 23.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
Jaylen
35%
Brown
as a team. They were 28.
Didn't even shoot a 3.
Yeah.
7 for 12. He was, pretty good, jumper and driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Derek White was the only one who, once again, thank goodness, coming back. We're glad to have him. He shot well. And Peyton Pritchard was pretty good. I mean, he was at 42%, but only shot 7 shots. So, it wasn't like we were shooting lights out.
Yeah.
Because we weren't, shooting lights out. I just think their defense was really good, and we needed to see that. You walked away from this game, I thought, feeling really good. Like, hey, wait a second, maybe we do have a shot.
Yeah.
This is the old.
Well, and I think the interesting thing coming out of this game is, we'll get to the trades later, but Cavs trade for DeAndre Hunter after this game. I think that was almost a direct response.
Yeah.
To this game because, you have Allen and Mobley, and those are their 2 big guys, and that's been a lot of their success. But they have no big physical wings. Like Niang is not athletic enough. Garland and Mitchell are small guards.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah, but they're just not. He's not athletic. He can't hang with Tatum or Brown or those guys. Garland and Mitchell are too small. Strus too small and not athletic. Ty Jerome way too small. Sam Merrill no chance. Like those were their guys off the bench. I mean, LeVert, who just again got traded, and he can't hang with those guys.
He had a horrible game. Yeah. I didn't think how many minutes did he play? He played
17 minutes, no points, for 5.
He did not play well at all.
Minus 23 is by far their worst plus minus.
And LeVert's done a good job. He did.
Yeah, but
I think our defense was really good.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is we could kind of swarm all those guys because none of those guys athletically can hang with any of our guys. Like Mitchell and Garland are going to get their buckets, but they're just too undersized. I mean,
and I will say they were not shooting well either. I mean, they were 28% at 3.
Yeah.
I think they're the only team in the NBA that's higher percentage, right, at threes
than us. I think so. Yeah. Well, not about percentage. I think. Total volume.
Yes, yeah, but I think they're up there, though, as far as percentage they make. I thought
sure. We are not.
No. And rightly so. So they were not shooting well. And I think part of that is the pressure on defense. This game showed more pressure on defense than I thought we've played.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But again, I think I really think it's an effort thing at this point because we made a conscious effort to go into their building and say, when we turn it up, you guys cannot hang with us. And, it was a 7-point game, but you were pretty confident the whole time that I was at least, that we're just looked.
I mean, we started creeping a couple times.
Yeah, but we looked like the better. A couple of times Donovan Mitchell scares you. It's like, here we go. He goes on a little streak. But the whole time it was... Yeah. We felt like we were in control and you were the better team.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I took that as a good sign.
It was the one too where Mazzulla sat. He had 5 fouls and Mazzulla had Brown sit and Peyton
at the end of the game.
Finished the game. And Drew sat, and was it Al that was in at the end? I believe. Which again, I think that shows growth to me. That he took the ego player. Jaylen Brown does not want to sit. 5 fouls. He could have totally gone back in. So I do think that is shows growth to me because what has happened in a few of the close games, ball handling is the most important, and we've messed up. We've not had our best ball handlers. We've had our star handle the ball, and they haven't made good choices, or they've been double teamed, and the passes have not been good. So I do think that showed some growth on Mazzulla's part.
And it'll be interesting come playoff time if that continues, because there are but there's multiple instances this year where Drew hasn't been playing well and Pritchard closes the game, or in this case Jaylen Brown had 5 fouls and Pritchard closed the game. So come playoff time, I expect it to be the same. If Drew's not shooting, then and you need points, like Pritchard's going to be in the game, and I don't think that's the wrong decision. I mean, Pritchard's going to win 6th man of the year. He's been excellent all year and available all year, and Drew is seems to be dealing with some injuries, and I have no problem with playing the hot hand or just outright playing Pritchard in crunch time when you need him, because he's been that guy, and he's if I trust anyone to hit a clutch shot, it's Peyton Pritchard, honestly.
And he didn't even. I mean, he was 0 for 1 in that stint, 10 minutes in the fourth. But again, his passing, typically he does not turn over the ball.
Very
I think
rarely.
when you see him with the ball, you are very confident
Correct.
that it is going to make it to the next.
Yep.
The hands of the next player. Which when Jaylen Brown dribbles down the court, you're
terrified.
quite sure.
Especially at the end of the game, you're terrified.
Sometimes when Tatum comes down and he's being double teamed, you're nervous.
Yeah.
So I do think that is a good choice
Agreed.
in a game like this. And to be able to, handle it, those egos, that's a lot. For Jaylen Brown to sit in a close game is not an easy thing. It's not. He wants to be out there. And so I have to say I was very impressed.
Agreed. Big game.
Yes, walking away from this, I felt happy. I felt hopeful.
But the big green roller coaster keeps going up and down, and we get to last night at home. Celtics fall to Dallas 127-120. Vintage Klay Thompson, especially in the first half of the game. Couldn't be stopped, and they just poured it on from there.
I agree with the commentators last night. I don't know if it was halftime, but they were saying that is a Klay Thompson playing free. He is not waiting for Luka to come back and get the shining minutes right now.
Yeah.
He is not in the shadow of Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he had plenty of success.
No, but I'm just saying at this point,
I understand.
He was the guy last night for us. So I think that you're going to see a lot more of that. I think he's going to be great with.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if the rest of this team gets a little post Luka bump, and it's like we can play too, and Luka wasn't our whole team, and wonder if these guys will kind of
Max Christie. He was great last night.
Yeah.
I thought he was very, very good. And the last time I watched him on the Lakers, he was very confident.
Yeah.
I thought he had a good game for the minutes that he was in.
Yeah.
And I kept asking you over and over again, who is this Marshall guy?
Najee Marshall.
This Marshall guy. He was excellent.
I thought it was Amir Johnson for a second. He looks like Amir Johnson.
He was excellent on defense.
Yeah.
He worked so hard. He was so good.
Points,
I thought
he was great too.
Yeah, I thought he played incredibly well. On our side, shall we talk about us?
Yeah.
Lackluster.
Yeah.
I don't know if they expected to win.
Yes, they did. The defense was especially heinous.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It's like a completely different team sometimes.
Yeah.
Like completely different teams. The number of times that I watched Tatum jog up the court, like a light jog to head back on defense.
But
it's painful.
This is like expected at this point. And this is what they do all the time. Big game against the Cavs. Number 1 versus number 2 in the East. On the road. You get up, you play all your guys, extended minutes. Let's go. And then they just take their foot off the gas. They go, nice. We won that one. We can relax for a little. And no, you can't because you lose to the Mavericks at home. Without Lively or Anthony Davis. So.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, not just that. Wait. Lively. PJ Washington. He plays
PJ Washington, yeah.
PJ Washington, Caleb Martin, Dwight Powell, Anthony
Dwight
Davis,
Powell's.
and and Derek Lively. All of them. And no. Did you say Anthony? Oh, Anthony Davis. Sorry. Yeah. Like what?
I will say though, when they get those guys back, this team is friskier than they lead on. I think
I have the utmost respect for their bench now.
Oh yeah,
right. Their bench is going to be great. Yeah.
Well, and half the guys starting will be on their bench because they don't. But I think this team is going to be sneaky, especially with the chip on their shoulder. Yeah. Everyone's thinking they got fleeced in the trade. How could you trade Luka?
Because we played an out-of-shape Luka last.
I agree. I'm with you.
Playoffs. Like I get he makes incredible shots.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But like we played him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. I'm not as convinced of Luka as the rest of us.
Impressive. Now, if he got in shape, if he got on board, he's an incredible basketball IQ.
Of course.
He could do it.
But there's a lot of ifs there.
Team, he was out of shape. And he hasn't even been playing. I think he's played less games this year because he's been hurt.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he's out of shape even worse than he was.
And now you got, Klay Thompson's going to have a chip on his shoulder. Anthony Davis is definitely going to have a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
This team is frisky.
This
team is frisky. The team we played is not frisky because they didn't have Anthony Davis and they didn't have PJ Washington. But when they get all their guys,
they were frisky against us.
Well, yeah, but that was, again, I think that's more of an us problem than a them problem.
Yeah, I don't know.
But let's see.
We were pretty much non-existent at times.
Currently the 8 seed, they're going to make the playoffs for sure.
And for me, the worst part is Tatum wasn't even shooting. Usually when we have a bad game, Tatum is shooting poorly. I mean, he wasn't even shooting poorly.
Yeah.
They were double teaming him, at times, like typical or whatever. But yeah, it was painful. The bright spot.
We need both the Lakers and the Mavericks to step it up a little bit.
So we gave up this game, right? We sat all our players and we put our bench in. And what did our bench do to their starters? That was fun.
Yeah,
that was really
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
Their defense, their energy.
Yep.
It really was fun to watch. Crew. It was like boys that started. Our stars, are you watching?
Yeah,
because this is the energy. This is the energy.
Yeah.
That was really fun. I thought they all, went in there, played their hearts out,
played
and got
their
it
butts
to
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, utmost respect for those guys. They were outstanding.
They made it fun.
They
made it worthwhile watching the whole game.
If you were a spectator at the game, I hope you stayed long enough to watch that ending because at least
got
they
to
made
see
it
a Drew Peterson 3.
Yes, at least they made it interesting. But yeah, if that team comes out, then it's just sad.
Yeah.
it's sad.
But I was gonna say we need the Lakers and the Mavericks to step it up a little bit because I think our best chance would be if the Lakers can push all the way up to the 3 seed, Mavs push up to the 6, little Lakers Mavericks first round series. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
That would be insane.
That would be fun to watch. Yep.
So let's hope we can get that NBA, make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was the Celtics week. Before we get to the trades and stuff, let's do opponent of the week. Do you have an opponent of the week?
I do have an opponent of the week. First, I have to find him. He is on the Pelicans.
Ooh, the Pelicans.
Jose Alvarado.
Grand Theft Alvarado?
Yeah. I thought he brought an energy to that game.
He always does.
When Trey Murphy wasn't quite as hot as he was.
Yeah.
He was put in and he was benched and they put him in right away again because his energy level on defense and moving the ball, I thought he was
I like Alvarado.
Excellent.
He's a feisty guy.
Yeah. He came off, he played 33 minutes. He came off the bench. I mean, he played as many as the starters almost. I mean, Trey Murphy, 38. But I thought he really was a little spark plug and made a difference in that whole game for them. I mean, obviously, Trey Murphy was shooting lights out and he was terrific. But I think without Jose Alvarado, we would have probably pulled out ahead a little bit. He really gave them what they needed. He ended up with 20 points. But I think it was his defense and his ball movement and his energy.
Well, do you know his signature move where he hides in the corner? So he's known for, they score.
Yeah.
And you inbound the ball and he'll hide in the opposite corner. And as the guy's slowly dribbling the ball, he'll run behind you, tap it out, and then try to run the other way. That's just like a signature thing. He'll hide on the bench in the corner like he's on the bench and then
we had
sneak and
how many turnovers? Well, they had 18, so I guess I can't say much. But we had 13 turnovers, so it wasn't,
Jose Alvarado.
All right, yours.
Mine. In the twist of all twists, the shock of all shock, my player of the week is Kyrie Irving. Okay. Kyrie has rehabilitated himself in a way I just never thought would happen. Because the Luka trade happens, according to everybody, this is, the Mavs are done. This was an insane move, blah, blah, blah. Comes out last night. Doesn't shoot the best. He was not outstanding. He wasn't making unbelievable Kyrie plays.
Pretty high.
Yeah, but he wasn't like, wasn't like, oh my goodness, Kyrie. But he played super hard the whole game.
Yes. 39 minutes.
Yeah, played hard the whole time. 40 and, is now the unequivocal leader of that team. And I watched his interview after the game. And he's so positive, upbeat, talks about the Celtics. You know, it's hard to win in this building. That's a great team. And, you know, jokes, I haven't been winning here in a while. Everybody knows my record. Ha, ha, ha. It's just like good mood, like good vibes. It's like, this is like at a time where like everything could, like he could really just like, you know, if he was unhappy, Kyrie that we've seen in the past could really just destroy the rest of whatever this team's season is, and he is appearing to do the complete opposite and
do you
keep
think
this team
he's
afloat.
Dancing now that Luka's gone?
This is what I mean.
He might be that attitude. You know what I mean? That might be what
agreed.
It took
Everyone on this team seems to be a little weirdly happy that Luka's not on that team anymore, and
hop in their step.
It's interesting. It's interesting to read that no one on that team is seeming really downbeat right now, which is I don't know. Something to watch out for. Something to watch out for, Lakers. See how this goes.
Christie's smile wasn't quite as big. He does miss LA.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I'm sure he's excited.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought
a good team.
That team just had an energy and a attitude that I just did not expect coming off that trade. And I just thought it was fascinating.
Well, and it's fun to see because we didn't see it from our team.
Correct.
We did not see that energy from our team, so a team had to have it.
All right, well, let's get to the trades. We've talked Luka. I think through the Mavericks. Everyone knows. Everyone who's watching this, I'm sure you know the news. It was hard to miss Saturday. The big trade.
I think it's going to be good for the Mavs.
I mean, I don't know about good, but
I do. I think they're going to be a different team. Who knows? But I think they're going to be. I think a lighter team.
Less expectations for sure. They're kind of playing with house money at this point. Everyone thinks they've just done the unthinkable and everything's going sideways, and they're definitely a nobody believes in us kind of motivational team.
And if we could just put a camera in the workout room when LeBron and Luka are in there together, I would be so happy. I would like to see LeBron's face when he sees all the hard work that Luka puts in. LeBron's
in there at like 4 a.m. and Luka's hungover. He's like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this.
Eating his cold pizza.
Yeah, good luck with that, LA.
Who knows? Chip on the shoulder could work for him too.
Hey, it could. It could go the other way. I agree.
Yeah? I'm going to get my LA body on.
It could. It could. Riddle me skeptical. Yeah. But
I'm with you.
We'll see. Other trade news. Mark. I was going to go Jimmy Butler first. A little bit of a bigger trade.
I know, but heart-wrenching. Go ahead.
Jimmy Butler to the Warriors.
Jimmy Baby Butler.
Yeah. Well, now he's happy. Now it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Yeah. Now he's all, what up, Bay Area? He's all smiles. Every interview, he's excited. It's like, okay, I'm sure this will last 6 months. Yeah.
And I'm not sure. It's going to be interesting to see how he fits in.
Yeah, I know. It's not.
Get what, It'll be interesting.
He'll fit in. I mean, even he joked in the press conference. It's like, get the ball to Steph Curry and get out of the way. It's like,
it's not that. It's just what he adds.
Oh, I think.
Can he lift them up to a playoff team? I don't think so.
Well, that's no. I mean, maybe a playoff team contender. No, they're just still.
Where are they now?
They're still so far away from contention.
they're pretty far down.
Yeah, they're still so far away from contention
right now.
I mean, the other,
and they are. I mean, they're in there for. They're not that far down because they started so far up.
the other thing is he did re-sign with them, so he's there for another 2 years. If you can get another guy in there somehow, and maybe that's kind of
what they're thinking.
Yeah. But agreed. It doesn't really move the needle for me in any way.
I'm not scared.
Yeah.
Of them anyway. I guess we should be because they're surprising as well.
And I don't know, from a Heat perspective though, this kind of didn't work out terribly. You lose Jimmy, obviously, big loss, but it's over. They got to be like, thank God. The guys on the team at least have to be like, thank God this situation's over. We don't have to hear about this every day. And you add Andrew Wiggins and Kyle Anderson.
Good some decent trades for him.
You just know that Andrew Wiggins is going to be a menace in that Heat system. They're going to get his butt in shape. They're going to have him flying everywhere, playing defense, doing everything. I mean, he's just a perfect player to be rejuvenated one last time.
Yeah.
And from their perspective, I think they're glad this situation's over with. They're going to have a bunch of cap space coming up, and they're still in the playoffs. I mean, they're a frisky team. They always are, well coached, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Marcus Smart, if you want to go there next, yes, he's going to the Wizards. I don't think he's going to play this year. It was, the Wizards are just full tank mode. We'll take your bad contracts if you give us a little something back with it.
Poor Marcus.
Yeah, hopefully they buy him out and we can sign him. That'd be awesome.
Poor Marcus.
Marcus, we'll always love you.
Yeah.
You always have a spot in our hearts.
The article I read today,
in Boston.
Not long ago, he won Defensive Player of the Year.
I know.
2 years to go.
3 at this point, I think, right?
Right. He
wasn't with us last year.
Yeah.
Did he win it the year before that?
He did.
The last year? No, was it?
This last year with us.
No. It's the year before, right? Because it's the year we went to the finals, and then we lost to the Heat the year after that. So it was
3 years.
Yes, it was 3 years ago, but still, yeah.
But anyway, poor Marcus. All right, enough said.
Yep. Well, in other Celtics news, we do have 2 Celtics moves. Jaden Springer off the team onto the Rockets, and maybe not on the Rockets anymore.
They passed on him, so now he's gonna be.
He'll clear away. He should land somewhere.
I agree.
Why wouldn't you? Especially if you're a bad team.
Just the Rockets, but he will fit somewhere.
Yeah, I think he'll. And then apparently we're signing Torrey Craig. I don't know why this comes to be. He last averaged like 6.9 points this year for Chicago. I have no idea what the thinking is. It just seems like a bizarre move to me. Older player, like I don't know. I honestly don't get it at all. Another wing, just defensively. It dumbfounds me a little.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if he plays. We'll see if he sticks or if they're just kind of, try out a few different guys or waiting for other guys.
He did sign.
Yeah.
He's already signed.
Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, they could always cut him if someone better comes available, but it is just an odd signing, I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, TBD on the Torrey Craig experience. The other one that was interesting is it sounds like Ben Simmons is going to be available. The Nets are going to buy out his contract. We were always rumored to be a suitor for him if he were to come available. So
I don't understand why.
Ball handler. I don't know. We have
more?
enough shooting.
We need more ball handling. I don't know.
Well, he's more of a pure point guard.
Derek, Drew. I mean, I guess you'd have to give away somebody, right? You'd have to. I mean, Drew, Derek.
Well, but anybody. Like, what's Torrey Craig? Well,
do you really want him? Ben Simmons.
Would you rather have him or Torrey Craig?
Yeah, I don't know the story.
That's what I mean. I don't get why we're signing him. It's like if the guy's available, he has upside at least. Ferocious defender, can play. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really get that move at all.
Just doesn't seem like it adds extra energy or confidence, right? That's really what I'm looking for is energy. If you're going to add to this roster, you don't need somebody that's
or someone like what role does he fill? Yeah.
Or, I don't know. It's just But anyway.
Yep. What other trades? A bunch happened. Those are the big ones. Raptors get Brandon Ingram for Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, first-round pick, and a second-round pick. Weird.
Yeah, it's not show-stopping, but he's good.
I mean, yeah, it's just not sure what the Raptors are doing.
One other one that I thought was interesting, that Bogdanovich.
Oh, yes. I do like that for the Clippers. They kind of need the scoring, too.
I like Bogdanovich. I think that, like you said, but they got Terrence Mann, who I also like Terrence Mann. I think he's good, too. So it's I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Lakers get Mark Williams from the Hornets. I don't really know much about him, honestly. Big center, lob threat for Luka kind of guy. Sending Dalton Connect, Cam Reddish in a first-round pick to the Hornets. Bucks get Kuzma, trade away Middleton. That's the one we forgot.
That was a big one. Middleton going. Yep. Which I would do too.
I guess.
I think he had a couple of good games, but I do think that's not a bad. I think you gotta. I mean, the chances of him re-injuring himself in the Bucks, I don't know.
It just seems like almost a lateral move to me.
Yeah,
like,
I just think more Kuzma's healthier.
Sure, younger, healthier, but doesn't know the system as well.
Yeah.
It's like sure, maybe you two get a little better, but it's not like doesn't seem like a huge improvement for me.
Doesn't make me
not going to move the needle for them, I don't think. But
frightened of them. Yeah, I agree.
Yep. Raptors traded PJ Tucker from the Heat too. I think the Heat just needed to offload people to get the other deal done. So Schroeder's been on like 5 teams in 6 days or something crazy.
I think he's a good little piece for somebody. So it's he's still got some play in him. He's not bad to have coming off the bench. I think I like Shooter.
Ties to OKC. Always
they need
love
a big
Tice.
guy. They need a big
Always
guy.
love Tice. I'm sure he'll take a few elbows and no one will call it this postseason in very Tice form.
But no, they need big guys.
And then we forgot the other big one.
Valanciunas?
No, that's not the big one.
What are the
Spurs got De'Aaron Fox.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
I didn't see the other day, but apparently he had a very good first game with the Spurs. He had like 24 points, 13 assists or something, and looked like it was off to the races there.
Their chances are this year? Because they're
not good.
12th.
Let's see.
But they're not out of the running. They're only they're still on the cusp. So they're in 12th place, 17 and a half games behind. I mean, all the way up to 6th place. That's 5 games. They're 5 games from the Lakers in 5th place.
Sure.
The Spurs.
The problem is there's none of these teams I'd really take them over.
Yeah. There's nobody sliding right now.
Yeah.
Mavs, I guess we're going to see.
We're both high on the Mavs
because they crushed
Phoenix is maybe one.
Yeah. Phoenix is a weird one.
All the reports on Phoenix is it's a disaster.
Yeah,
the locker room, nobody likes each other. Yeah. Kevin Durant has been asking to be traded, but only to places he wants to go. It's because so before the Warriors,
Baby Durant. He's right up there.
He's ridiculous.
Baby Butler.
Well, he's like number 1. How many teams has he just like crushed? The net, like everywhere he goes.
Wanted to leave. Yeah.
He's pushed his way out of the Warriors. But the rumor was the Warriors wanted to get him back before the Butler deal. And he did not want to go back to the Warriors. I think him and Draymond still have problems, and he just didn't want to go back. So that deal fell through, so they end up trading for Butler. And then Kevin Durant has no destination, so he has to stay with the Suns. And there's locker room problems there that I'm sure he's involved with. And it sounds like that whole situation may be going south. So that's a team to watch out for to drop out of the playoffs. But
they were crushed by the Thunder.
But I still might take.
They lost to the Trailblazers.
Yeah. But would you really?
Twice.
Yeah.
They lost to the Trailblazers twice.
But let's
I don't know who was out. Somebody could have been out, but they lost to the Trailblazers.
They are
twice.
They're 2 games ahead of the Spurs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. All those.
Yeah, but would you even knowing what I just said, would you pick them to finish below the Spurs? I don't know.
I mean, even when we played the Spurs, I mean, is De'Aaron Fox enough to push them?
We'll see. We see them again soon, so we will.
Yeah, I just haven't seen them play very
Agreed.
much.
I don't think so. It's more of a future move. You have those guys for the
Trailblazers are 9-1 in their last 10. So
that is interesting.
And they're right there too. Like they're only a game behind the Spurs.
Yeah.
So from 6th place to the Trailblazers.
Third to last.
To the Trailblazers. Third to last is 6.5
13th
games.
place.
That's 6.5 games between,
It's quite the log jam.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy.
But again, I just think too many of these other teams got better.
Yeah.
Clippers got Bogdanovich. That's a good move for them.
Injuries,
the Lakers,
you never know.
TBD, but Luka's obviously going to give them a boost.
The Rockets have
Phoenix
lost
is
their
the
last
one.
5. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Very streaky team.
I mean, it's still fourth in there. I believe they'll be in the playoffs, but yeah, it's funny. They were really on a...
So really two of those teams, I mean, it's assuming the Spurs don't make the playoffs, then you have one of those next teams. Of those 11, who would be your guess to not the other team that doesn't make the playoffs? Or doesn't make, not the playoffs, at least the play-in. Who's finishing 11th of the teams currently in the top 11?
Kings, maybe?
Kings. I would say Phoenix.
They're spotty. Phoenix, yeah.
Kings got better.
Yeah.
Fox wasn't playing for them. He was pushing his way out, and so they get Levine in that trade. They also got Valanciunas.
We'll see. We'll see if they can do it. But yeah, Kings or Suns. I'd agree with that. Those would be the two I would think. And, the Clippers are just so iffy. I mean, is Kawhi going to be healthy? They've
been good enough without those guys, I think.
Yeah,
that's my...
Yeah.
I don't
they're not a terrible
that's what
team,
I mean.
but they could... I mean, if everybody else gets better, they...
Yeah, agreed. But I don't know.
Who'd they just get? They just get somebody, too, didn't they?
I would rank...
Bogdanovich, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good get for them.
I agree.
That's what I mean. I think they got better.
They could. Yep, they could.
Did they make any other moves?
Beauchamp, I don't know how to say it.
Drew Eubanks.
He was pretty good.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think the West is going to be extremely interesting, right? A lot of talent.
Agreed. I would put, if I had to rank the teams to not make the playoffs of those teams, I would say Phoenix 1, and then I might go Warriors 2. They're out of the playoffs, or they're out of the top 10 now.
Yeah.
And they get Jimmy Butler, and maybe that's enough, but maybe it's not, and maybe they go the other way. And it's
I don't think Butler's going to change.
Agreed. They might miss the playoffs still.
Yeah. So I think 9, 10, and 11 for me could.
Yeah,
potentially.
I mean,
Suns,
it's definitely going to be a shootout to see who those parts are.
I agree. All got better. Mavericks, Clippers, Timberwolves, Lakers. I mean, look at the Timberwolves climbing. They're 7-3 of their last 10. They were a couple weeks ago. They were 10
tough.
11.
Yeah.
They were a few weeks ago.
Agreed.
So
it's going to be interesting for sure.
And that's with everybody staying healthy.
Yeah.
Still got a lot of season to go.
Yeah, that's all I got on that. I mean, I'm going through the rest of these trades. A lot of...
They're small.
Yeah, a lot of other moves. But yeah, that's all I got trade-wise. So coming up for the Celtics, Saturday in New York, see the Knicks for the first time since opening night, which is crazy. That's just how the schedule worked out. So that'll be interesting.
It's a big one, I think. I mean, this is an up and coming. They're supposedly playing extremely well.
It just makes the loss last night even funnier. Because, now that I even think about this, they were looking ahead to this game.
Yeah.
The Cavs and the Mavericks, that was the afterthought. And then this game. So they looked at Cavs, they looked at Knicks.
Again, I think you'll see that energy.
And they just, I agree. That's just funny. Yeah, exactly. It's just funny. Yeah. And then Monday, we head even further south to Miami to play the Heat. And then Wednesday, we'll see the new look Spurs. With De'Aaron Fox, probably. I'm assuming he'll play.
Yep.
And those are our next three. So lots going on at the NBA at the deadline. There already is. Yeah. There's always something. But this has been one of the bigger deadlines of the last few years for sure, especially with a little top heavy trade that no one saw coming. And that's all I got. Any closing thoughts? I can't speak today.
Tune in tomorrow night. Celtics.
Tomorrow night's Knicks. That's a fun one. Yeah. The Knicks, the Knicks are going to be also come out because they got embarrassed opening night and they've improved a lot since. So they're going to come out swinging as well.
Going to take over this year.
So yeah, watch out for tomorrow night.
And with that said, I mean, they're only a game and a half behind us, so
sure
they could, depending on what happens.
Yep.
Be in front of us in the next couple of games. So tomorrow night is going to be a great game.
Mm-hmm. Well, next week we'll be here to talk about it and report on how that went. Hopefully, well. But in the meantime, follow us on all platforms. We need more followers. Twitter at Shamrock Talk Pod, at Shamrock Talk on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all your places where you find us. YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. We need more YouTube subscribers. let's get our numbers up, people. I've got some stuff. I've been working on some stuff in the mix, some social media content. So we'll be rolling that out as well. And it's 2025. Playoffs are coming. Yeah. A couple months. Faster we'll be in playoff time.
Next 2 weeks are going to fly
by.
Fly by.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. All the teams are...
Stay healthy.
It's... NBA the last few years has been awesome. I mean, no, you never know. It's not like Warriors and Cavs are going every year again. I have no idea who's coming out of a split. Like the West...
Yeah.
Could be anybody. Yes. Tell me any of the top 10 teams made the finals, I'd believe you.
Yes.
East, a little bit more top heavy, but we'll see. We'll see if anyone can dethrone the Celtics, and we'll be here to scream about it all no matter what happens. Exactly. So, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.